just an artist that was trying to make music. He doesn't know why anybody would do him the way that he has been done. And he said that all he ever wanted from Diddy was an apology for, I can't tell you what. And when he said, I can't tell you what, the world assumed, although he didn't say it, that he has a pending case, right? That he had a pending case. But the entire band broke down. 5 buff, big, tough black dudes, all weeping because of what had been going on. And God knows what it is. You know, we don't exactly know what happened, but all of us can kind of can imagine it. And he says to Vlad, look, the last time you saw me and I was on here, man, I didn't look right. I wasn't cute, which is an odd thing for a grown man to say anyway. But he said, I wasn't cute. And Vlad showed a clip of film of this gentleman standing behind him during an interview. And he had a look on his face. There's no other way to say it. He had a look on his face like he had been essayed a few minutes earlier. Honestly, that's what it looked like. It was horrific. It was a horrific interview. And I had more of a response from that interview than anything else that I had ever done. Apparently somebody said B2K was abused by Diddy. And I think that came across pretty clear. And obviously there is some litigation currently. He was broken and vacant. It was awful watching. It was heartbreaking. Yeah. How about that? Here's something you don't see every day. He was broken and vacant and awful watching. It was heartbreaking. Someone said earlier, it hits different when a guy cries. And there's just a lot of truth to this. I had more people respond to me after that. And so many people who just reached out and said, it hurts, man. Very cool. Then, yeah, that is awesome, man. That really is. That's awesome. Speaking of raves, you know that Shaun was he's kind of a big deal in that rave community, especially where I live. He's kind of a legend, man. Kind of a legend. Isn't this sad? Isn't this sad? At this point, it would almost be easier to ask who wasn't essayed by Diddler. It sort of became the luck of the draw, didn't it? It sort of has become the luck of the draw. So let's talk about what we're going to see going forward, because I kind of started this talking about how, there's a couple of things that I don't want people to continue to do. Don't write to me and tell me that you think that the president is going to pardon Diddy. He's not going to. You can also stop writing to me saying, this is a setup. How can you have a RICO case with only one person? You ain't seen this case, right? You have not seen this case. The defense has not even seen this case. The reason that we have not seen all of this is because they don't want the ability for the for the defense to be ready for this case. This is something that happens all the time. They're playing chess. And normally the government doesn't have to worry about it much. They can steamroll directly over the person. This is a little bit different because of the amount of finances that the diddler has at his disposal. This is going to be an ultimate chess match with people that have a hell of a lot of cash. The government has an unlimited budget. And Diddy probably has a couple of $100 million that he can spend on this case. I don't know. I mean, he's hemorrhaging money. Yeah, Yvette, I'd love to put that up, and I could, but Yvette, I don't know who you are, and your name could be Tom, and you could have, but because we get things like this all the time. Yvette says, I know someone that knows Jamie and said he had a stroke. I don't doubt the guy had a stroke. I've had 2. My first one was brought on by chemicals. There's just no 2 ways about it. The way that I was partying and doing what I was doing caused me to have a stroke. And there are people who believe that the stroke was caused very much like the suspicious other unalivings around Diddy. He's had a lot of people who died from very unusual causes. Look at what happened to Al B. Shore. Look at what happened to Jamie Foxx. Those are two really weird illnesses that almost took guys off of the planet, but we're not quite sure exactly what happened, right? What the deuce, right? It gets to a point where you start going, wait a sec, how many people that you know died of pneumonia? Because that's kind of weird, don't you think? Do you think the Diddy trial will be streamed live? It will not be streamed live. You will never, ever see any of the Diddy case unless you are in the courtroom or you are in the overflow courtroom, because apparently they're going to have one for the Diddy trial, probably have a lot of press in it and things like that. But the only way that that is going to happen is if you are in New York. The reason for that is it is etched in stone and always has been this way. The federal government of the United States of America does not allow courtrooms to be photographed. They will not allow a camera in there ever. When you see the great cases that you watch, like the Johnny Depp, Amanda Heard thing, those were not federal courts. Federal courts never, ever allow a camera, which is unfortunate, you know. But here's the good news. The good news is that each day when the Diddy trial is over, I will come running out of the court and I will go jump into the tour bus and I will kick on the computer and I will say, let me tell you what happened today in the court, because I will be representing the Shaun Atwood program and the Lifeboat at the trial of Sean Combs. Oh, I'm going. Oh, I'm going, people. Make no mistake, I'm going. Interesting. I'm wondering if Jamie took that pill while he was around Cameron Diaz. It may have been for her because she dated Diddy and then ran away from Hollywood for years, allegedly. I didn't realize that she was anywhere near him at the time of this. That'll be interesting. That's not something I was aware of, and I would have to track that down because I had not heard that. Nicola, Reese will not be there for the entire thing because it's probably going to drag on for months. But yeah, I'm going to bring she and Hux out because I'd like to show them New York. Oh, they were filming together? I do know that the Cameron dated Diddy for a while, and I guess they had kind of a I don't know what you call it, booty call kind of a relationship. Like they were still hanging out and kind of doing the beast with two backs thing kind of on a regular basis, in spite of the fact that they weren't properly together. That said, my understanding is that they were really fantastic friends. Like, no joke. They just got along beautifully. Yeah, that's one way to put it, right? I knew he got ill on set. I did not know that she was the co-star on that. I had no idea. She also went to school with Snoop. I had heard that too. Yep. Hold on. Do you think that money talks and they may be able to buy people in the White House and lawyers and get away with it because the money talks? No, there's no amount of money on planet Earth that could get anybody to get Diddy help at this point. Let me run over this one more time. If Diddy could come up with $1 billion, which is a lot of money that he does not have, if he could come up with $2 billion to pay somebody off, who are you going to pay? Who are you going to pay? And do this without a paper trail, right? Whoever helps Diddy cuts their own throat on their career for the rest of their life. No one's going to do that. I'm sorry, no one's going to do that. And more importantly, all of the people, right? This is different. Agent Orange, Tailhook was different. Tailhook was a military thing. The tail hook scandal was a little bit different in that it was fed, but it wasn't. It's kind of like Leavenworth is a prison, but it's not. That's a very odd case. The tail hook thing was a really strange case. Interesting. I just watched the day 26 back on Making the Band when they auditioned. Diddy yells, "Y'all got to get naked." Not a shocker there. Honestly, not a shocker. Apparently, there's a Smex tape of Kanye doing the rounds. I want to tell you something. Not only have I heard that there is a Smex tape of Kanye that is making the rounds, I have heard it from people that that I respect. I have a feeling that we're going to probably be seeing something along the lines of a Smex tape of some kind from Kanye. I do believe that that's coming. You've seen stills? Oh, I don't know that I want to. So listen, yes and no. The two of them apparently are filing for divorce. This is the rumor that is currently has traction, and I'm not at all surprised by this. I feel like this is a golden opportunity. If you're Bianca and you had, if there's even a hint in the back of your head where you go, he's kind of a jerk, that was your opportunity. I'm sorry, but let's just assume for a second that she's not the greatest and nicest and kindest person on earth. Let's just say she's a gold digger. The second she walks out on that carpet, her divorce is settled. 100%. She can go get her divorce and she's going to get whatever it is she wants. Smex is exactly what you think it is. The algorithm, if you don't put the word M in there, and we say it too many times, they just hide the video. They don't want us talking about the fact that people have intercourse. Apparently, that's a real shocker to the people at the Big Red Button. Too smexy for this song. That's right. Hey, you look good in green. I'm of the firm belief everybody looks better in green. But so where do we go from here? What are we going to see going forward? I would imagine that what we're going to see is over the course of the next, say, 3 weeks, we're going to see a lot of lawsuits because the end of this month is the end of the Victims of Gender Motivated Violence Act in New York. That wraps up on the 28th day of February. So all of the parties that have been filing these lawsuits against Diddy are going to have to get them all in between now and the 28th of February. So I think we're probably going to see a lot of suits that drop. In the state of California, you have another year after that you can still file. But congratulations on being an RN. Leslie, that's awesome. A legal drug pusher. I like it. I like it. I think Bianca has her own agenda to get money from Kanye West. Well, if she ever wanted to, just think of the narrative of how bad it looks. In the environment that we're in, you've got Cassie Ventura who's saying, yeah, I looked like I was having fun the whole time, but here's what's really was going on. And I was being abused behind the scenes and forced to do these things. She got, 30 or 35 million? If you're Bianca, you have to look at that clip of yourself on the red carpet and say, if I decide to divorce and I say that he forced me to do that, who's going to look at that clip and say, no, he didn't. You were into it. Whoever looks at that is going to say, yeah, that's ugly. And I have a feeling she's going to take him to the cleaners. And normally I would be very disturbed by that. I don't want to see anybody getting ripped off, but he's such a reprehensible piece of crap that I hope she takes him for the 2.2 he says he's worth or whatever. I hope they get justice for everything he's put them through. It's tough proving SA, though, especially years later. It's incredibly hard. And I think this is a really good point. We hear all of these suits. Diddy isn't going to settle any of them. I really don't believe he'll settle. What has he got to lose? This is his way of getting out of jail. I mean, they're going to have to take him out for these proceedings. For the first couple of years, he'll be in prison if he's convicted, and I assume he will be. We're going to see a lot of problems. If Jamie Foxx was on the red carpet with Kanye, they could have sang "Gold Digger" to Bianca. I like it. I like it. That band that we were talking about from Making of the Band, if you saw them break down on set, did you see the comments? Because when we highlighted it, I have a morning show that I do every morning. My partner and I do a morning show. And it has a lot of video and audio stuff I don't normally do. My friend Casper and I do one on a channel called After the Bars. In fact, if you got a wrench, put up a link to After the Bars. This is a morning show that we do in the United States every morning. And we were talking about this on the morning show. Hold on one second. I think that Bay and Jay are arguing because he didn't pay off Jane Doe straight away, and that has dragged her into it all. That's why she's going on tour too. They didn't look close at the chamois. No, they did not look close at the chamois, right? Just real quickly here. They didn't look close at the chamois. However, they didn't pay Jane Doe off, period. That case is not over. And this is something that I think a lot of people are missing. Two things have happened. Bad Boy has been dropped off the lawsuit. You list everybody on the lawsuit. You list Shaun Diddy Combs, Bad Boy, Christina Karam, his security, everybody. See what sticks. And a lot of times during the course of the proceedings, you'll have to drop a couple of names off. So Bad Boy got dropped off. Also, Voldemort had filed a Rule 11 violation lawsuit against Busby. In essence, saying, there's no case. You made this up, and you're doing it knowing there's no case. A lawyer has to do due diligence, right? And his argument has always been, you didn't research the case. If you had, you wouldn't have brought it. He dropped that Rule 11 lawsuit. Doesn't mean that this went away. It is still open. It's still scheduled to go to, they're going through and moving through the system. That girl has got to get a day in court. She's a woman now. She was 13 at the time. She is entitled to have a day in court. Have you ever watched somebody he's been convicted of 13 murders, and then they charge him with a 14th in another state, and they're going to fly his butt in there, and you're like, why are they doing that? He's got 13 life sentences and a death sentence. Why would they waste the money? Because if it's your kid that the person murdered, don't you want to see him convicted for that? Your child who this guy murdered is worth the same justice that the other 14 already got, right? You just can't sort of blow it off. This Jane Doe, her story's horrific. She was SA'd by two men while a girl watched. We're going to let a jury decide whether or not that's BS. Voldemort wanted the judge to decide before they ever went to trial. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. But I promise you, this ain't over, right? They didn't drop the case. The case is still moving forward. The only thing that changed is they have dropped all the charges against Busby with prejudice. Oh, yeah. No, you make a good point. If they had paid it straight away, they wouldn't be dealing with all this. And you're right about that. And I think it would have been a great idea. But I also think there's a chance that Bebe already did pay. Why do we not know who Celebrity B is? For those who are confused, allegedly, right after the VMAs in 2000, Diddy and Voldemort essay a girl. And there's a woman watching while this happens. Who's the woman? Speculation has been that it could have been Jenny from the block, Jenny with the Glock. She has not denied it. Her press people have not denied it. There's been no categorical denial of this by anybody. Also, Beyonce has not denied it either. But this originally was filed in October. Then it was refiled, I think, in December, right? Either late November or December. It was refiled. And in place of Celebrity A was the name Shaun Carter. but they didn't put Celebrity B's name in there. That would lead me to believe, right,